It's been a bit late the last few days, but we're just trying to do our best. We're not going to think about conditions. We're just going to go out there, play as hard as we can and compete for as long as we can.
And the difference is, when you're bowling first, you have completely different plans from when you're bowling second.
In the final, Sri Lanka have won the toss and they've decided to field first.
This man on your screen was brought in for experience. That's exactly what Kumar Sangakkara mentioned. Sehwag started off all right, but Gambhir unfortunate to get out very, very early. And little did we realize that the top order was going to fall apart, Jimmy.
Yeah, the first stroke from Virat, but Sehwag playing in his normal way. And then when he was batting, everything looked absolutely okay. Nothing seems to be happening. But again, once Virat got out, then Yuvraj, usually we've seen that he would usually play away from his body at the beginning of the inning. But Sehwag and Dhoni probably, they look very comfortable.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? Sehwag looked extremely comfortable in the middle. The others maybe would have looked at a couple of shots that they had played and said, maybe we shouldn't have played such kinds of shots. And he was just absolutely blazing, Sehwag.
I mean, not much risk taken, and resourced Sri Lankan fielding right throughout. It has been very good during the tournament. As you correctly says, when Sehwag is there, not much the other batsman has to do. Shots like this suggest that it's a good wicket till this happened. Good ball, it's rewarding for good bowling that right areas.
This was the moment there was a bit of a needle between Vellagendra and Virendra Sehwag, wasn't it? I mean, there was an issue that was happening, a few words that were exchanged, and then Sangakkara did not take the bowling power place because Sehwag was going. Kulasekara comes in, picks up that wicket, and then the resurrection started as far as India was concerned.
Yeah, I think Sehwag was very important because he's one guy probably who can just destroy any bowling attack. And once they got Sehwag, then they knew that they were in position to control the game.
It was 5 for 60, and then you needed two batsmen who would bat sensibly, and that's what we got in the form of Raina and Ravindra Jadeja.
I mean, it's nice to have those two youngsters showing their class, and they are a bit under pressure with Kohli scoring so many runs in the recent past, and it's their chance to score when they get it. I mean, it's a bit touch unfortunate if you go by the sneakometers and all that, but it's one of those days that a decision goes against you.
Over 100 runs that were added, and then you knew that it was all up to Kohli. The others could give him a bit of a support, and he seemed to accelerate towards the 40th over, or this was the 40th over. Suraj Randeep coming back into the attack, made sure that he was getting a few boundaries, but didn't get too much of a support from the other end. He really shot that from Harbhajan because he looked like he was planning to give strike till that point.
Yeah, it usually happens because I think that's the way this lower middle order I think usually play there. I think Zaheer and Harbhajan, they like to play short, then they're more comfortable. But here they had to play a different role, but they just couldn't register.
Yeah, that's the point he was making, Ellis, just a while back. Some outstanding fielding, making sure that the bowlers looked all the more better. Towards the end, you knew, Suresh Raina was the lone man fighting, and then he had to go for that big one, and eventually India were all out for 245.
Remember, India were rattled early on. They were 60 for 5 at one stage, and then the recovery. 106, Suresh Raina, the real star in that innings, got good support from Ravindra Jadeja, who made 38, and in the end 245, which means the target for Sri Lanka. That's what India need at little under 5 runs per over.
Taranga was dismissed off the very first over. That's a cracker of a start that India could have had.
Yeah, good catch. And then, of course, Sangakkara, the man in form, playing his shots from the first ball, especially this shot was fantastic. And then Dilshan at the other end, they never allowed the bowlers to really settle down.
Supreme timing. Need to be mentioned here that India lost Ashish Nehra because he limped off in his second over, which meant that the others had to step in. So India effectively was one bowler shot, but this was really the essence, isn't it? We talked about 245. These two guys had to come.
Got instructions to play the normal game, the only game basically that he plays these days, and that will take the pressure off the team, and that's what he exactly did till he got to 49 and tried to play that touch shot, which he is not very renowned to.
Yes, They had scored about 70 runs in the first 10 overs, and then Dhoni was forced to do something. In the 17th over, Yuvraj slided one in and got a Dilshan's wicket. You still had a Sangakkara going all right, and as Marwan was saying, he's really been the vital cog in that Sri Lankan lineup. Another fine half-century coming from the Sri Lankan captain, and this was the point in time when India really made sure that they were strangulating Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it was a big wicket, and especially Sangakkara was well set, and this was the time I thought they really came back into the game. But then Harbhajan bowled well, then Jadeja was bowling well, the runs were not coming, but I think then later on Jayawardene used all his experience.
Jayawardene did use all his experience. Suraj Randeep, we have seen him batting at that particular position, haven't we, ahead of Tisana Pereira?
Especially when you haven't got the batting power plays. Sri Lanka seems to be wanting Tisana Pereira to bat in the power play, so that could have been the reason. We have seen this earlier too.
Yeah, vital contributions from him before a direct hit from Ravindra Jadeja getting rid of Suraj Randeep. A bit of wobbly moments this particular over. We were talking about this. Just similar kind of shots. Yeah, you can turn around and think maybe that was not the area to bowl, but again, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when he makes room for himself, he's looking at a bigger arc. So probably that is one thing that he's been practicing at nets to give that bigger arc for you to score. I mean, certainly that is what he's tried.
Target, not a very big one, 246. Taranga went early, 49 for Dilshan. Sangakkara played quite superbly for his 55. Mahela Jayawardene, man that Sri Lanka were counting on, batted through. 71 not out. Got good support from Samaraweera and Kandambi and Randeep chipping in. In the end, Sri Lanka getting there, 249 for 6. Sri Lanka winning the toss and deciding to field first. Kept India to 245. India got there mainly because of Raina. Magnificent 106. All the bowlers doing a fair job for Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka getting there, 249 for 6. Sri Lanka win by 4 wickets. They won the Idea Cup 2010.